So Mike, you've done a couple projects now. If you could tell us a little about the two projects, maybe how they differ, maybe some of the things you've learned.
Okay, the John Deere Place projects we did, of course, the first one was here in Greensburg where we're at right now. We did that one because we needed to have a store right after the Greensburg tornado in May of '07. We hadn't built a store from the ground up before. The stores we'd bought were previous stores. We added on, we did other things with the facilities, but we never had to actually design and build one that way. So we were kind of thrust into a whole new situation. We contacted John Deere. We'd heard about John Deere Place. And we heard how dealers were getting good results from John Deere Place from a sales perspective. Just the atmosphere was much more, it was brighter, it was cleaner. It had the displays that were necessary for the new merchandise that Deere offers now. So we thought, let's go John Deere Place. As a family, we talked about it. We're a fourth generation John Deere dealership. Started in Buckland, and then of course in '96 we bought this store, the store that was destroyed by the tornado. We built this in '07, really went up in '08, opened it in '09, so we've been in operation for a couple years. We have, in fact, seen some really good results from the sales within this store, particularly the merchandise. Greensburg has become a showplace for green building and sustainable construction. And so we get a lot of bus tours out here. A lot of people come off the highway. We're on Highway 54, which is a main artery down to Phoenix and to the whole the Arizona area. So we get a lot of basically snowbirds that are traveling across the country. They stop in here. A lot of them are farmers. So they come in and they really are interested in what we have. And they generally buy something. So it's really a good thing. This whole atmosphere enhances the sales of our showroom. We decided to build a Pratt store because after the tornado we bought that location. We learned a lot when we put this particular building in. So we implemented John Deere Place in that store as well. And we particularly like, I personally like the exterior of the John Deere Place with the large blade sign, which incidentally, John Deere was very instrumental in helping us build this dealership back in a sustainable manner, and they put LEDs in that blade sign for us because we need to conserve energy. So that was very nice of them, and I think they've continued that to this day, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a really nice, attractive sign, and the green band around the store really attracts attention off the road. They see it immediately, and they immediately know that's a new John Deere store. And so they stop in, and the end result is a very pleasant one for the customer. As far as Hasco and John Davidson Architects are concerned, I think they've been very, very instrumental in helping us get the look we wanted and the feel that we wanted in these stores. Art Keeler and his gang, we kind of associated with them right after the tornado. Very shortly after, we were getting bids, and we got a bid from Hasco. And they came out and they didn't, I mean, they'd built John Deere Place before at another store or two, so they're familiar. That's one of the reasons we went with them, because we did want that same look and feel that we'd seen. Before we put this store up, we traveled to other locations. And what we went to was John Deere Place locations. Went to a few that weren't John Deere Place as well, just to try to get ideas for our showroom, our shop, our tool rooms, our parts areas. We needed to look at something because what we had was an older design building. So we got a lot of really good ideas. And Art helped us with that. Art was very, very helpful. John is very good at architecturally laying out things. We used John in the Pratt store. We did not have the association with him, unfortunately. In this store, it would have helped out a lot if we would have. But we had Art and his boys and like I said, the whole Hasco team. They were very, very helpful. We did build this building considerably different than other buildings. This is a John Deere LEED Platinum store, the first of its kind. LEED is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, as you know. It's very, very sustainable building. Art wasn't familiar with that, neither were we. So we actually learned together on how to build a better building, better construction, more energy efficient, more cost savings from the water standpoint, water usage. This building's designed for a 50% less usage of energy and a 50% less usage of water. Those concepts have carried over to our Pratt store. We used a lot of the same building construction. We didn't go lead in that construction. We went lead here because it's Greensburg and we're the greenest city really on the planet. As you figure per capita lead buildings, we really are. But the fact is we used a lot of the same ideas, the same construction materials, the same look and feel. So when you walk into the Pratt store, it has a similar look and feel as this store. And it's very good. In fact, we liked it so much, we did a remodel in Buckland. That's our old store. That's the mother store. That's where we started in '44. We needed a showroom refacing. We took that showroom reface with John Deere Place. A lot of the green elements, like I said, the construction, the exterior panels are all the same that we used here, which really builds a real tight capsule so you can conserve energy. We wanted to do the wind turbine, which we do have wind turbines here on this site, and it produces, right now, that's producing almost all of my energy, the big 50 kW unit that we've put up. Initially, we put up the 5 kilowatt unit, and it actually powered the job site as it was coming up. The Hasco plugged their tools into that wind turbine and powered their tools from that turbine. That's how we got into the wind business, essentially. So at Pratt, we got a little trouble with the FAA because of the airport. Otherwise, we'd have the wind turbine up over there. But the rest of the building is very much like this with the low E glass and the different kind of construction materials were the same. So
Pratt's got some interesting doors in the shop. Any of those features that really stand out that we haven't mentioned yet?
I think we've tried to accommodate with the doors on our shops and in those areas, we try to accommodate for the size of the equipment we're working on. So equipment's getting bigger, doors are getting bigger. Same way with shops. That's why they're so much bigger and so much wider, because you need to be able to drive the machine down the middle but work on both sides. So you really have to have some width to this thing and some length so you can get additional bays in there and fully equip those bays. One of the things we've done, and I would encourage every dealer to do it, is we've put the oil to the bays, directly to the bays and on reels. So it's all just basically bulk oil that's delivered to each bay. Very, very convenient. Plus they have their own reels for exhaust reels for when they're working on units. We've tried to lay out, particularly the shop, so it's work friendly. We've got a welding area, we've got different areas so that you can actually go do that. Where before we were cut up, we were scattered out. We didn't have the cohesiveness that we have now. So, those kinds of things you do have to look at when you're laying out a shop.
In your parts area, you were a heavy user of Vidmar cabinets, and then you also pioneered a new Vidmar machine to allow you to access larger parts easily.
Yeah, exactly. The parts was a real issue for us because over at our other store it was like 44,000 square foot. This is 28.5. So we really had to maximize our space, the use of our space. So we went to the Vidmar cabinets, which are very, very good. The high density of the storage in those cabinets, it really holds a lot of parts very conveniently, plus they're all bar-coded. And then we used a Vidmar stack system in the back of the parts department, which actually, this is 25 foot tall. We can use the height of the building, and it's a very nice tracked move. You don't need a forklift to work in particularly in that stack system. So it's an exceptionally good way to stack parts high and to deal with heavy parts particularly.
So the John Deere Place program, it gives you some ideas. It learns a lot of learnings from other dealers. But did you feel that you had the final decision? Did you feel John Deere was pushing a lot of ideas on you, or did you feel you had the freedom to do what you needed to do in your own facilities?
No, John Deere was very helpful in our move to John Deere Place. They had the very nice thing was they had a layout with all of the different floor plans that you could choose with the square footages and the office, particular positions of the offices and these kinds of things. So we found the floor plan, the square footage that we wanted. We contacted John Deere Place. They came in and worked with us on that. Never felt any pressure from John Deere Place as far as had to go this way, had to go that way. It was more of an assistance. And once we'd been around enough to see the John Deere Place stores, we knew what we wanted. We just needed some help to get there. So that's really what we did. But no, it was a very good experience. We did change the floor plan, and John Deere Place had no problem with that. They understood that every dealer has its own different nuances for a mail room, for instance, or what they need in a particular area of a tool room. You just need to do the changes, and Art helped us with that, and of course John Davidson was a very big help with that over in Pratt.
One area I'm particularly interested in is your IT area. Now, you realize that technology is a increasingly more important factor in differentiating yourself. Tell me a little about your IT room here.
Well, IT has always been a really big thing on our plate. We pride ourselves, if you will, on being one of the best equipped stores computer-wise. All of our techs have had computers for ages, cell phones, all the latest technology. But essentially, kind of got to go back to the tornado. This was the hub of our IT, Greensburg was. Well, that was destroyed in the tornado, and in fact, our IT person, Jeremy Hoover, even went down to try to save the servers, and he did save them before the tornado hit, which is another story. But we didn't want him to do that. We didn't instruct him to do that. So when we built this facility, we put the hub back into Greensburg, and we made that our Safer. So that is actually a tornado-proof room with all of our IT for all 4 stores. We handle some of the hospital stuff and some of the local sheriff stuff in there because we have 2 full-time IT guys. And their office is right above the IT room, so they can quickly access that and make any kind of changes that they need to hardware-wise. And so all of our IT for all 4 stores plus our wind building is connected. And then we have Polycom systems, which are teleconferencing. So we can teleconference in from any of our stores or to any other site that has the Polycoms or some kind of teleconferencing system. So we're kind of state of the art on that.
Well, I want to thank you for all the tours you've given and all the tours you're going to give.
My name is Kelly Estes, president of BTI. You're standing in state-of-the-art facility, 52,000 square foot plus facility that's John Deere Place. It was copied a lot of the sustainability and the energy design was built into this building as our store at BTI Greensburg. We invite dealers, encourage dealers to come and see what John Deere Place has to offer. It's not just a building, it's the way they designed it and built it. John Deere's taken a leadership role in helping us to incorporate the things into facilities that have a quicker payback and are very sustainable. This facility is going to house about 42 employees. We're real excited about it. It's taken about 10 months from start to build date. Our projected date to be in is March 28th, and we encourage and invite all John Deere dealers to fly in and see what we've done here. We're really thankful to John Deere Place, Dave Jeffers, and all the initiatives put forth, not only at Greensburg, but across the entire country, because they're taking this seriously and helping people to design build projects that make sense for John Deere dealers across the country. When you get to design build a shop from scratch and you get to lay it out the correct way, dealers should be aware of the lighting and the natural lighting that it can be utilized. In this facility, as you can see, we don't have skylights in the middle because we were able to go with the split design and bring the natural light in off the lights on the side rather than skylights and holes through the roof. The actual lighting that we were able to use, we were able to go down with about half the lights internally in the building as a result of the natural light we were able to bring in. So when dealerships are thinking about to putting these types of facilities in, please always consider that lighting and energy value that brings to the table.